everybody. I'm Garrett,
And I'm Ron.
and we're going to be taking you on a tour of the George S. Eccles Dinosaur Park.
Opened here in Ogden in 1993.
Come on!
We're here in the Stewart Museum, opened at the Dinosaur Park in 2003.
Now, if your first thought outside was, I wonder what that statue would look like with no skin or meat, that's weird. But here it is. This here is Wankel.
Discovered in the late 80s by paleontologist Kathy Wankel, her original bones today are on display at the Smithsonian Museum.
Now, what's so unique about Wankel is that she was the first Rex to be discovered with an articulated arm. That gives us insight as to the range of motion, how strong the arm was, and what it might have been doing with them.
We also like to study the legs of large animals. The bigger you get, the bigger your legs have to be to hold you up. They can also tell us about stride length and agility. Now, we figure a Rex the size of Wankel would weigh around 7 tons when it was alive.
Whereas the largest specimens, like Scotty or Sue, could be between 10 and 13.
This here is a Columbian mammoth. Named after the river where it was first discovered, these animals have since been found from Alaska all the way to Florida. That giant range can help tell us not only about these animals, but about the climate they lived in and about how them and some of the other animals might have been adapted to those climates.
Well, obviously not everything paleontologists study is going to be a dinosaur. This mammal here is more closely related to us than it is to dinosaurs at all. And while it's pretty big, it doesn't even compare to the largest species of dinosaur.
Not even everything that lived with the dinosaurs would have been a dinosaur. Deinosuchus here is actually a giant alligator, more of an uncle to the dinosaur family.
Now, this guy here is an American alligator, and this individual would have been about 8 feet long.
Whereas Deinosuchus would have been 30 to 35, closer to T-Rex in size.
It also had a similar bite force to T-Rex, being in the 3 to 5 ton range, though it did live a little bit earlier.
Allosaurus here is actually Utah's state fossil, with over 70 of them being found right here.
And nearly 200 worldwide. Now, some of the differences you may notice between T-Rex and Allosaurus are these long arms and massive claws.
Allosaurus also has a much narrower skull with these great big eyebrows called lacrimal crests, probably for showing off the ladies.
Well, we also have the Rudd Hall Natural History Museum with its own exhibits like gemstones and minerals.
It's even got its own fossils like petrified wood, amber, and a couple of ammonites. One of my favorite specimens up here is these amethyst pillars. They weigh about 1,500 pounds, and they're something called frog's eggs amethyst. It means there's calcite crystals trapped inside the amethyst crystals, which gives them a very cool look with these little white spheres inside of the purple. We don't just have Utah fossils here at the park. Baryonyx was discovered in Great Britain.
Well, Baryonyx here was one of the oldest members of the Spinosaur family, and it was likely a pescivore, meaning that it ate fish.
We can tell that from the shape of the head and the shape of the teeth, which are perfectly adapted to snap fish out of the water, and the density of this animal's bones can tell us that it spent a lot of its time in and around water. thanks for coming out to the George S. Eccles Dinosaur Park with us today.
Feel free to explore the past with us anytime.
Yikes!
I gotta go!